ये स्टार्ट हो रहा है. Yes. Come madam, come.
Good afternoon, respected Principal Dr. Bhuvan Malani, esteemed Vice Principal Professor Dr. Mandeep Kaur Gochar, respected mentor of the Science Corner Professor Dr. Rajiv Ajma, honored teachers and my dear friends. A very warm and enthusiastic welcome to everyone present here as we gather to celebrate National Science Day. This special day commemorates the remarkable discovery of the Raman effect by the great Indian physicist and Nobel laureate C.V. Raman in 1928. His groundbreaking work not only brought global recognition to Indian science but also inspired generations of young minds to explore the wonders of scientific world. Science is not merely a subject. It is a way of thinking, questioning and discovering the truth behind the mysteries of nature. It fuels innovation, strengthens society and drives the progress of a nation. On behalf of the Science Corner, in collaboration with the Science Maths Club, Maths Corner and Equal Opportunity Cell, I extend a heartfelt welcome to all the teachers and students who have joined us today to make this celebration meaningful and inspiring. Let us use this occasion to ignite curiosity, celebrate scientific achievements, and encourage young minds to dream, explore, and innovate for a better future. Now I call Ms. Sumaya Khan and Ms. Ayushi Gala to further continue the event.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are celebrating National Science Day. But before we begin, we have a quick challenge for you all. What would the world look like if half of the world's ideas were never given a chance? Yes, and
the world moves on from to a lot of ideas and by different people. A lot of things are innovated by them and all of them comes through one idea. So if an idea is not there, we won't get a solution, we won't get a new invention, a new innovation.
good attempt. Anyone else?
Questioning skill.
I personally feel that our science and maths textbooks would have been half empty. For many years, that was often the reality for women in science. Yet, despite facing barriers and stereotypes, countless women continued to question, explore, and discover, proving that talent and intelligence knows no gender.
Again, let me ask you all a simple question. What is the fastest thing in the universe?
Light.
Correct, absolutely correct. Light.
And the scientist who studied light scattering was C.V. Raman, whose discovery of the Raman effect is why we celebrate this day.
We celebrate National Science Day observed on 28th February to commemorate the discovery of the Raman effect by the Indian physicist C.V. Raman in 1928.
This discovery was so significant that it earned India its first Nobel Prize in Science and reminded the world that scientific curiosity can lead to extraordinary discoveries.
Did you know the theme of this year is Women in Science Catalyzing Viksit Bharat?
Yes, and it's important. Yes, and it's important because every time a girl asks, why does this happen? Or how does this work? A future scientist might be born.
And today we celebrate those curious minds that continue to change the world through science.
One inspiring example is Kalpana Chawla. As a young girl in Karnal, she looked at the sky and dreamed of flying among the stars.
Many people thought such dreams were impossible. Yet, through determination and education, she became the first woman of Indian origin to travel into space. Her journey shows that curiosity and courage can take us beyond even the earth.
Another remarkable scientist is Bttc, known as the Missile Woman of India.
Despite personal challenges in pursued science with determination and played a key role in developing program, contributing to the country's technological strength.
These stories remind us that talent has no gender.
When girls are encouraged to ask questions, experiment, and innovate, they do not just build careers, they help build the future of our nation.
If we truly want a Viksit Bharat, we must ensure that every curious mind, whether a boy or a girl, has the opportunity to explore science and make discoveries.
Who knows? The next great scientist of India might be sitting with us today.
So let's begin the celebration of curiosity, discovery and innovation on this National Science Day.
We
would now like to call upon Ms. Deba Sheikh to continue with the celebration.
So hello, good afternoon everyone. We now have a documentary. So this documentary, Women Power in Science, highlights the inspiring contribution of Indian women who made remarkable achievement in science despite of many social and educational barriers. In earlier times, especially during the British era, girls had fees for education and very few colleges allowed them to study science. However, courageous women did not give up. Scientists like Kadambini Ganguly, Janaki Ammal and Annamani broke these barriers and made a significant contribution to science. Their dedication and achievement prove that women are equally capable in the field of science. This documentary celebrates their journey and inspire future generations to pursue science with confidence. I now request the technical team to please play the documentary. Thank you.
The contribution of women in the fields of science is perhaps one of the less explored subjects globally, and even to this day, there are fewer women pursuing scientific fields or STEM than men globally. For women in India, the challenges of pursuing the myriad fields of science during the British Raj and the years leading to India's independence on August 15, 1947 was difficult to say the least, as there were only limited opportunities. Higher educational institutions started by the British were limited when compared to India's population and geographical spread, and most of them were for men. The situation was even more complicated for women due to traditional circumstances in India of not encouraging education of the girl child, let alone giving them opportunities to pursue scientific fields. But for many women in India, these historic conditions, though difficult, were not insurmountable. As we celebrate 75 years of India's independence, we also celebrate the lives and contribution of women who cracked the glass ceiling and pursued science in the 19th and the 20th century in India. They were pioneers who fought against discrimination as well as societal and cultural barriers of keeping women out of educational institutions.
AI can now build a website in 90 seconds, while the only AI most people over 40 know is ChatGPT.
So in this two-part series of Science for a Self-Reliant India, we first explore the lives and contribution of some remarkable women, like Kadambini Ganguly, the first qualified doctor of India who studied medicine in Calcutta Medical College, E.K. Janaki Ammal, botanist and cytologist, Annamani, who excelled in the field of meteorology and physics, and Dr. Ashima Chatterjee, who excelled in organic chemistry and phytomedicine.
Women like Kamla Amwar, who later on became Kamla Sun, who did a pre-doctoral, and then like the scholarship where she did so many important these are the early women in science. Then came Janaki Amwar, who was the first woman to get a PhD in university. Then there is Professor Ashima Chatterjee, who was the first woman to get a PhD in chemistry in India.
This and much much more in our show Science for a Self-Reliant India, only on India Science. As we celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which commemorates 75 years of progressive India and the glorious history of its people, culture and achievements, it is only befitting that we remember the important role of Indian women scientists in the 19th and 20th century, whose contribution to the field of science and education is now part of our country's rich legacy. In this series for Science for a Self-Reliant India, we pay special homage to these determined and brave women who fought against gender discrimination in education. They were ahead of their times, and while we can only bring to you the lives of only a few luminaries in these episodes, they represent all the women scientists who have enriched our country's educational ecosystem by bringing in gender parity and contributing to the fields of science on an international scale. So let's begin our episode by taking a close look at Kadambini Ganguly, the first qualified woman doctor in India. Madras Medical College was the first institution that allowed and admitted women students for the first time in India in 1875. This was an era when only one institution in the United States, the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania, established in 1850, was open for women who wished to pursue medicine, while there were none in Europe. After Madras Medical College, the Calcutta Medical College, then known as Bengal Medical College, started admitting women in 1884, while Grant Medical College in Mumbai followed suit in 1887. But in the initial years, no Indian woman was able to qualify for admission in the medical colleges until Kadambini Ganguly, a graduate with a degree in arts, was finally admitted to Calcutta Medical College to pursue medicine in 1884. Kadambini Ganguly was born on 18th July 1861 as Kadambini Basu in Bhagalpur, Bihar, and was raised in Changi, Barisal, now in Bangladesh. She completed her formal education from Banga Mahila Vidyalaya, later merged with Bethune School. She became the first candidate from the Bethune School to appear for the University of Calcutta entrance exam and created history by becoming the first woman to pass the test in 1878. Kadambini was also one of the first two female graduates, along with Chandramukhi Basu, in the entire British Raj. After her graduation, when Kadambini decided to pursue medicine, she found that no medical college in Calcutta was admitting women students. But due to her persistent efforts and those of Dwarkanath Ganguly, a teacher and husband of Kadambini Ganguly, she was finally given the chance to appear for the entrance exams. And having qualified, she became the first lady to be admitted to Calcutta Medical College. She completed her education in 1886, even with hindrances and challenges that came in her way as the authorities were not in favor of admitting female candidates.
Before 1947, if I talk of women in science, I have to begin by talking about women in education. Women who learned, first because women in 1880 also, they were not even learning. And therefore the early women achievers, or scientists as I can call them, are actually women.
So I can just use ChatGPT, right? Why do I have to attend your workshop?
See, that's the biggest misconception, that only ChatGPT.
And most of them were taught at home by family members, fathers, brothers, husbands. And about them I can talk about, who were the first women doctors to be trained as doctors. And I think one thing I would like to mention here, which is very nice, is that this is about the same time when in the rest of the world also women started becoming doctors and surgeons. So India was kind of in step with them. Then the first there were these women like Mary, the first surgeon, woman surgeon, who had a lot of support from Travancore king to go and study in the UK. And she was taught by some of the women who were first surgeons in the UK. So this is just to tell you that we were. So the first women who had something to do with science in India were actually medical.
1886 was also a remarkable year for women's education in India, when 2 women qualified to become doctors in Western medicine. Kadambini Ganguly was of course one of them. Along with her, Anandi Gopal Joshi, who studied at Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania in the United States, also qualified as a doctor in 1886. But due to her ill health, she could not practice medicine and died in 1887. Thus, Anandi Gopal Joshi is considered the first Indian woman to be qualified as a doctor, and Kadambini Ganguly is considered the first Indian woman to practice her profession as a doctor. A few years later, Dr. Kadambini decided to pursue higher education in England and went on to complete 3 diplomas, namely Licentiate of College of Physicians, Edinburgh, Licentiate of the College of Surgeons, Glasgow, and Licentiate of the Faculty of Physicians and Surgeons in Dublin. Dr. Kadambini Ganguly also specialized in pediatrics and gynecology. Dr. Ganguly was also associated with the freedom struggle and several social movements of India. She was also a part of the first ever female delegation to attend the Indian National Congress in 1899 and was selected to vote in its 5th session. Dr. Kadambini Ganguly openly spoke against Calcutta Medical College's practice of not admitting female candidates at the medical conference of 1915. It was a provoking lecture that led the university authorities to amend their policies and open their doors to all female students. Dr. Kadambini passed away on 3rd October 1923.
Plus, medical college was the first to open its doors for women, and later came the Calcutta Medical College and so on. So at that point, I think 1885, because women's health was very important, and as the colonial rulers themselves needed medical facilities, a fund was set up, Jefferson Fund, to enable women doctors to come into India and also to train Indian women into medicine. And that is the one, that is why, at that point, Anand Gopal was able to go to US. There was only one institution in US offering medical education to women, and in Europe, none. But in India, the medical colleges of Madras and Calcutta did open their doors to women. And at that point, I think education for women, though not prevalent, but began to be available. And if you look at one of the oldest colleges, the Bttc College in Kolkata, and the alumni that it produced at that point, and the role that they played in politics, in social activism, it is immense. So Abila Bose is one of the alumni. Kadambini Ganguly is another one. And now you move up and you find that Neena Gupta has received the Ramanujan Award for mathematics, and she is an alumni of that institution. So institutions have a big role to play in how women will contribute to society and so on.
Janaki Amal was born in 1897 in Tellacheri, Kerala. After schooling in Tellacheri, she moved to Madras, where she obtained a bachelor's degree from Queen Mary's College and followed it up with an honours degree in botany from Presidency College in 1921. Under the influence of teachers at the Presidency College, Janaki Amal acquired a lifelong passion for cytogenetics.
Done here. It's time to let it shine. नया ग्लाइकोलिक ग्लास बाय लॉरियल पेरिस ग्लाइकोलिक एसिड के साथ जो हेयर क्वालिटी रिस्टोर करे और दे इंस्टेंटली 3 गुना ज्यादा ग्लॉस. Get the shiniest hair of your life. नया ग्लाइकोलिक ग्लास बाय लॉरियल पेरिस.
In the ₹9 workshop that you're providing, what all do you cover?
In ₹9, you will learn how to automate your
Plant cytogenetics is a combination of cytology and genetics. Cytology deals with the study of cells, their origin, structure, function, and pathology of plants, and also as a means to diagnose or test for other diseases. However, genetics deals primarily with the patterns of inheritance of specific traits of the concerned plants. Janaki Amal then went to the USA for higher studies and obtained a master's degree from the University of Michigan in 1925. On her return, she started teaching at Women's Christian College, Madras. After a few years, she returned to Michigan as the first Oriental Barber Fellow. In an age when most women didn't make it past high school, she obtained a PhD at one of America's finest public universities and became the first Indian woman to be conferred a PhD in botany in the United States. She then went on to become the first Indian woman to be elected to the fellowship of the Indian Academy of Sciences in 1935. Professor Janaki Amal was an internationally recognized botanist for her extensive research and writings on sugarcane. From 1934 to 1939, she worked as a geneticist at the Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore, where she made significant investigations on cytogenetical studies of sugarcane and eggplant and traced the evolution of these crops. Her pioneering work on cytogenetics of sugarcane and hybrids involving sugarcane and related grass species like bamboo is still considered as outstanding discoveries in the field of botany. She also created a new variety of sugarcane called SG6332 through experimental breeding. From 1940 to 1945, she worked as assistant cytologist at the John Innes Horticultural Institution in London and as cytologist at the Royal Horticultural Society at Wisley from 1945 to 1951 as well. Dr. Amal also published several research articles and co-authored the Chromosome Atlas of the Cultivated Plants jointly with C.D. Darlington in 1945. Her studies on chromosomes facilitated better understanding of the evolution of species and various varieties of plants. On the invitation of the then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, she returned to India in 1951 to reorganize the Botanical Survey of India and was appointed as its officer on special duty. She went on to serve as the Director General of the Botanical Survey of India. Owing to her brilliant research contributions in the field of botany, she was awarded the Birbal Sahni Medal in 1961. Dr. Amal was awarded the Padma Shri by the President of India in 1977 for her exemplary work in the field of botany and plant cytogenetics.
You know, all these women have inspired generations of others. They have opened the doors for other women to pursue careers in science, and they have been inspirational. And the list is large. You look at just about any discipline and you will find that there are a few names that have led women into those disciplines. So you have, let us say, you have Janaki Amal, who was the first Director General of Botanical Survey of India, or you have Anna Mani, who was in meteorology. You have Rajeshwari Chatterjee, the first engineer employed at Indian Institute of Science, or Kamal Ranadev, who set up the first tissue culture lab and then also set up Cancer Research Center. So name any area of science and the progression of science over the years, and Indian women have been participants. The numbers, however, have not been very strong, but it was demonstrated and given an opportunity, the highest to which they can rise.
Anna Muralian Mani was born on 23rd August 1918 in Travancore, Kerala. She initially wanted to pursue medicine, but later decided to take physics and enrolled in the honors program in physics at the Presidency College in Madras. She graduated with a Bsc honors degree in physics and chemistry. In 1940, Annamani obtained a scholarship to do research in physics at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, under the supervision of Nobel laureate Sir C.V. Raman.
I work better under pressure if you keep telling yourself this, but still end up rushing and stressed, then listen to it. The truth?
In Dr. Raman's laboratory, Annamani worked on the spectroscopy of diamonds and rubies. The application of fluorescence spectroscopy is a powerful and effective tool to study the physical and chemical behavior of macromolecules. Annamani recorded and analyzed fluorescence absorption and Raman spectra, including the temperature dependence and polarization effects of over 30 different diamonds. Between 1942 and 1945, she published 5 papers on luminescence of diamonds and rubies. In August 1945, she submitted a PhD dissertation at Madras University. Though the dissertation involved ample research work, she was refused a PhD as she did not have a master's degree. Undeterred, Annamani then moved to Britain to study physics on a government scholarship for an internship in the Imperial College London. Although her preference was to pursue research in physics, she ended up specializing in meteorological instrumentation as it was the only scholarship available to her at that time. But it began a lifelong passion and contributed in enriching India's meteorological mission. Annamani returned to India in 1948 and joined the Indian Meteorological Department at Pune as a scientist and in charge of construction of radiation instrumentation. At IMD, she standardized the drawings of about 100 weather-related instruments for production monitoring stations across the country to monitor solar radiations to help harness solar energy.